Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We are here, and Tiffany HANSEN is here from Tiffany HANSEN Crochets, or Tiffany HANSEN Crochet. And I'm just so excited. It's been about a year since we talked last.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. And I got super excited because Halloween's coming up, and I've been wanting to do your square for a long time. Your skull square. I
Yeah.
showed everybody on a live yesterday, but and I was looking for it. I can't find it. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. That's really cool. I love that you made that. That's really neat.
Yeah,
What were you making it for? What were you planning on doing with it?
Well, I've got this crazy, crazy, crazy Afghan that I'm putting together. That's just like a bunch of crazy Halloween colored squares. It's nuts.
Awesome.
I've got all sorts of different, little skulls and black cats.
Oh,
I was like, oh my gosh, your skull would be perfect on there.
cool. Yes.
I
Oh,
know. I will be posting plenty of pictures of it on Instagram.
Can't wait to see it. Very cool. So what gave you the inspiration to do it's that time of year kind of thing, or?
Well, it was that time of year, and okay, I don't know about you, but I get into a thing where I just want to crochet. Like, I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to think about a project. I just want to crochet. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a theme each month, and I am going to do something with that theme. So September was
Very beautiful.
Barbie.
Very beautiful.
Barbie.
Wow. There's a lot going on in that.
It is just fun, crazy. So, what kind of things do you crochet when you do?
Oh my gosh. So it's been all over the place, to be honest. There's been a lot. So when it comes to my projects, they too are all over the place. I'm currently trying to finish up a cardigan that I'm making for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm designing my own pattern and I'm really excited about it. I'm on the home stretch, but I'm making it in a black color because I really love to wear black.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, if I want to make a tutorial on this, then I'm really going to have to do this whole thing over again in a lighter color. So that way I can demo it and people can see the stitches and they can see what's going on. So I have that personal project happening. And then, oh my goodness, I have a whole bunch of whips. I have too many whips. I have whips like everywhere. I'm like looking around my office right now. I'm like, okay, like 1, 2, 3.
Right.
But oh my gosh, it's crazy. But yeah, I have some whips I'm doing with individuals, projects that I'm having on my YouTube channel. I got some other things I'm trying to put together, some potential kit boxes coming up in the future. And yeah, there's just a lot of things working, a lot of moving parts right now. So when it comes to what do I crochet for? I'm buffering. I'm buffering. There I am. When it comes to projects that I do personally, it's hard to do one personally. I'm really trying to finish up, clean up a lot of past projects right now.
Sure.
It's kind of my life mission right now to minimalize my clutter that I have in my studio. And unfortunately, I went through a big season of starting a whole bunch of whips. And so I have a ridiculous amount of things that I've started and never finished. So here I am like, okay, let me just knock these things out, so it's kind of where I'm at, finishing up some whips. So I wish that I was crocheting some projects for myself. The one I am is the cardigan. So that's all I got.
And you've got to do that every once in a while because otherwise, what's it all for? I mean, we got to have fun with the stuff we're doing.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of the stuff that I do, I try to double dip a bit where I'm like, okay, what can I make? And if I'm going to make this thing, let me make a video on it. So that way, all of the time that I'm spending making it, I'm utilizing, Right. So it's kind of like, all right, so I'm doing this, but now I have to also take that one step further and make a tutorial on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's just like, but I just want to crochet. But there's always
Right.
that little, yeah.
That's when I dig into my past whips and I'm like, okay, let me just do this.
Yeah.
So I wish that I was doing more just for myself. But I mean, crocheting in general, I do. I have so many great projects that I'm super excited about. I have a lot of future projects that I'm working on where I get to be creative and design. And so I'm looking forward to those things coming up in the future. But again, there's like purpose behind it. It's not just because, it's everything has to have a purpose because there's just so much. So
yeah. And that's all right. It's all fun because it's crochet and it's
yarn. And yeah, it's crochet related. And I tell my husband this all the time. I'm like, I don't feel like I ever work, like, because I love what I do. And it makes it very hard to stop. And I find myself just kind of wanting to crochet all the time. Now, I'm sure you can sympathize with me a little bit, Ginger. When you end up turning this into a business and having your own channel, there ends up being a lot of the admin stuff that you have to do that also takes a lot of time, such as the responding to comments, emails,
making the videos,
like creating the patterns, like doing all the computer work. I find that I'm on the computer more than I'm crocheting. So when I'm crocheting just to kind of like watch TV or something, my husband's like, do you have to do that right now? And I'm like, I need this right now. Don't take this away from me. So yeah.
It's not, that part's not the work. The crochet part is never the work. That's the fun.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let me say hi to a couple people here. I see a lot of people coming in, and I did, before I say hi to everybody, like, hi, Maribel, Renee, and Stephanie, Arthur, Stacy, Butterbean Jamie, hello. Christy. If I'm missing anybody, I am so sorry. Hi, Debbie and Kimberly and everybody going down here, Kimberly. I'm so happy to see you guys here today. I did a live yesterday because I was scheduling things. I'm terrible. So I put out live and I said, hey, you guys, if you have any questions for Tiffany tomorrow, let me know now. And so I've got a list of questions here, and some of, a lot of them from me, some of them from from yesterday.
I think I remember last time we ended up like having to shut ourselves down because we were so in it with the questions and just talking about everything that we could have talked for a whole other hour. It's just like so much to talk about. So I'm super excited to be here with you again. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if this will happen round 2. This is great.
Just expect it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that.
So number one, I think a lot of people want to know most of all is, how did you very first get into crochet?
I actually think that is, it's like a tiered answer. I have a tiered answer for you. So I got crocheting when I was really little. My grandmother taught me how to crochet when I was like 4 years old. And it's because I was a very hyperactive child, a lot of energy, and she just wanted me to sit still. So she started a chain and she handed it to me, and it got me to kind of like hone in on something. And then I was so like focused that I would just like sit and just go, So all of a sudden I transitioned my energy to right here. And so it worked out great. I enjoyed it. And she now had a kid that was just sitting still. And then I didn't really fuss with it much until I was like in middle school, high school, and I did blankets. That's really all I did. I just did blankets, but I was a closet crocheter because it's not cool to crochet. especially when you're in middle school, high school. Now it's more accepted. Now people are like, oh, it's trendy, it's cool.
Right.
But back when I was in middle school, high school, no, everyone that saw me was like, that's what old ladies do. I'm like, here I am, just like, but I enjoy it. And then, yeah, blankets. When we were older and family members started having babies, I started transitioning into stuffed animals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when things really started to change for me, was when I was starting to make things with an intention to give them away. And of course, somebody had to say it, and they're like, you could make money doing this. And I was like, really? And I was instantly bit by the bug. And I was like, well, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make things and I'm going to sell them. Ta-da! My life purpose, It's literally like how things kind of morphed for me. So what I did is I started making stuffed animals and then putting them in this boutique that I saw. And then I would make these head warmers and I put those in a coffee shop, and really kind of wherever there was a consignment that made sense for me to put it in, I was attempting to do that. I got bit by the bug. I wanted to sell and I wanted to crochet. So all of a sudden I was making anything and everything that made me excited. And that was good and bad. I entered in farmers markets, holiday festivals. I did a couple, what are they called? Like huge summer events with thousands of people. Like I was kind of all over the place, just getting myself out there. Because what I noticed is when people saw my items, they sold great, but I had the worst time selling anything online. Like it was just like no one really bought any of my stuff online. It was dominantly, if they saw it, felt it, then it sold. But that ended up, I tried really, really hard to sell my stuff for a while. And it's really hard to sell your stuff online. It really is. I got myself a website. I got myself, like I did all the things. I paid for marketing. I paid for logos. I put my best foot forward in that kind of area. And I just personally sell best in person. And so that's kind of like my advice that I give people. I know that's a tangent that you weren't asking, but because of that, I kind of transitioned and gave YouTube a try. So that's why I'm here right now. And it's working out great, where if it's not working for me to sell it, I can still share my creations with other people by showing them how to do it. So.
Sure. And I think part of that is the getting to know, is the know, like, and trust.
Yes.
When you see somebody and you see what they've made and you're right there standing there talking to them, it's like, oh my gosh, this wonderful person who's talking to me made this cool thing that I can see,
Right.
And I think that's where the good transition is into YouTube, because I've noticed the difference between YouTube and Instagram is Instagram, I don't feel like a personal connection as much as I do over here on YouTube.
Sure. Right.
And I guess that leads into the next question. What possessed you to start a YouTube channel?
Gosh, it took me a long time to actually start it. It really did. I had family members who kept trying to encourage me to just do YouTube. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, I'd be awful. I don't see the value. I couldn't connect the dots. I couldn't see how what I had to offer was anything that would have value on YouTube. And I think that's because back when I was like, people were trying to talk me into it, I had a specific view on what YouTube was for, And then it really wasn't until my husband found Melanie Ham, and he's like, you should watch her, watch what she does. And I was like, oh, I could do that. And it gave me so much confidence. And I was like, okay, that's something that I could actually visualize. I can see, I could do that. And that's really what gave me the go to give it a try, was Melanie Ham. So I give her a lot of credit for me diving in.
Yeah, that's really neat. She's an inspiration to everybody.
Yes,
for sure. So now, how long ago did you start your channel? How many years have you been on now?
I started in January of 2020. So
Wow.
right before the pandemic hit.
Right.
And honestly, I will contribute or I will associate the pandemic to being helpful in a lot of my
Mhm.
growth, because I literally started, yeah, 3 months before the pandemic hit. So I had some videos kind of in my arsenal.
Mhm.
And then a lot of people wanted to learn how to crochet. So that helped. But I think the other thing that really helped my channel out is I wanted to be successful. I
Mhm.
knew when I started my channel that this was going to be my career. This was going to be what I do. It wasn't I didn't enter YouTube thinking this is going to be a hobby. I'm just doing this for fun. I knew immediately, if I'm going to do YouTube, this is going to be my job. And
Mhm.
so I did a lot of studying. I did a lot of research. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to be a YouTuber, and that helped.
Oh,
That helped a lot.
oh
And I
yeah.
think the biggest thing that I learned was consistency. You got to be there
Mhm.
you got to just keep being there. You just got to keep showing up. And it was also not being afraid of failing and doing a poor job. If you messed up, if didn't, if your video flopped, it's okay. You got next week. Just keep moving forward. And so that was reassuring and just kind of getting me going. So yeah. And I think that I really associate my consistency with most of my success here on YouTube.
Mhm. Mhm. That makes total sense. Just suiting up and showing up and being there, like,
Yeah, just
y-
showing up.
that's what, yeah, that's what I think. That's especially what all of you, every single wonderful person that watches our channels loves, is just, you know, coming on and getting to know you and
Yeah.
feeling comfortable. It's like, oh, there's Tiffany again. I want to
Right.
make this pattern.
Right.
This,
And
yeah.
I agree with you when you were talking about the difference between YouTube and Instagram. At YouTube, you can, uh, it depends on how you approach it, how you approach your channel. My
Mhm.
main channel is very structured. I have to get in and get out as fast as possible because people's attention spans are like this big, so I've had to
Right.
really learn and adjust and restructure my videos to be as efficient as possible, as fast as possible, so that way
Mhm.
I can maintain people's attention. And in doing that, I can show a little bit of my personality, but it's more very structured, intentional. Now
Mhm.
my channel is starting to transition again, which I think is really beautiful. How through the
Mhm.
years, your channel doesn't have to stay stagnant. You can really morph it as it grows and change it into something else. And
Sure.
I'm in the middle of a transition process right now where people will be able to see a lot more of my personality. But yeah, right now, main channel, you don't get to see a whole lot of my genuine me, I guess. Whereas
Mhm.
I do have a vlog channel, which is more like I'm in a car talking to you about my day.
Yeah.
Like that's more like that's me. And then I also have my membership program where I talk to
Mhm.
my members on a Zoom call so I
Mhm.
can see them and I can hear them, which I think is so vital. It was super important to me. And honestly, it's my members that know me best. They know the true genuine me, and that's so special. In fact, I've already seen a couple of them in your chat.
Oh,
I want to say
yeah.
hi to Sharanya and hi to Mary. Mwah, thank you so much, guys. And Julie, I see Julie. That's who I see right now. So if you're also from my membership program and I didn't say your name, it's because I don't see your name right now. But thank you guys so much for being here. Lots of
Yeah. Lots of love. And one of your members, who is also one of my members, is who initially got us together
right.
to have the interview last year.
I thought
Thank
that
you,
was
Lisa.
oh, Lisa is amazing. I love her.
Yes. She got me inspired to make that skull pattern because she just
Really?
has been working on a, a skull project. So I was like, oh my gosh, I must make that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do with the square. And I love that. You can really your imagination can just explode when it comes to that. There's so many things you can do, and I think that's so cool.
Without a doubt. I need to make those pants still. I need to make those-
They're actually quite comfortable. I ended up making them for my brother-in-law, which is hilarious.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah, he actually commissioned me to make them, and I was like, this is really interesting. So I didn't just make it on a whim.
Mhm.
It had intention, and he sent me pictures of him wearing it to a Halloween party, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. You know, it was
That's
great.
perfect. This is what this was made for. So
Exactly.
so wonderful. So let's see. I could talk forever about
Please do.
YouTube, but
Please do.
forever about you. Well, I want to get a few crochet questions in first, and then we'll get into some more YouTube. How does that sound?
I am an open book. You ask
Okay.
me whatever.
Okay, awesome. Okay, can you share the story behind your very, very, very first crochet project?
Let's do context.
Okay.
On YouTube or as an adult or as like my 4-year-old self?
Okay,
Which one? Which story do you want?
I want to hear all of them. I want to hear a little clip of each.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my mom shared with me just recently. She was going through her things, her closets, and she came across some of my very first things that I made. And I don't know what it was, but it looked like some square or rectangle, but it was by no means a square or rectangle. I was like, it was like weird shaped, and I was like, interesting. I can see how I was developing my tension. You know, like,
Yeah.
okay. First project that I ever actually made somebody, I believe, was a blanket, just because out of natural. No, it might have been a scarf. One of those just very simple, like back and forth projects where that's all you got to do. I don't remember if it was a scarf or a blanket, but it was one of those. And then what was my first project on YouTube? Oh, I think I wanted to start very simple. So I did a washcloth that I sold a lot of at my shows as a vendor. I was like, what could I do? Because when I started on YouTube, I didn't do any research like on what was out there. I didn't know analytics. I didn't know what people wanted. I was just like, I'm starting a YouTube channel, you know? So I think I just was like, I had intentions originally of starting my channel, showing people what I made and sold as a vendor. And I was really going to go at the angle of, okay, so this is what I do. Let me show you what I do. And it never quite got that far. It ended up like jumping in and becoming something else entirely. But yeah, my first project was a washcloth that you can still see today. And it was it was a really good seller that I had on my table. So I was very excited. I still actually use them. I like utilize them in my home. And yeah, it was one that I felt very confident making. And yeah, and then because my pot holders were basically just two of these washcloths joined together, my pot holder ended up just by nature being my second YouTube video. Like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, I mean,
So do you still sell things in fairs?
I wish. Keeping up with the content that I do on my channel, and then now I have multiple side projects going on. I do not have the bandwidth to create those extra inventories to put on a table, and I do miss it. Last year I tried. I had some stuff left over. I was really just kind of like taking everything out of my office space, all of my little amigurumis, all of my beanies, all of my stuff that I just kind of accumulated, and I took it to a show. And I instantly knew, because I hadn't done a market in like 3 years at that point. I was like, I'm out of practice.
Yeah.
I am out of practice. And I was like, gosh, I would have totally, if I were back in practice, I would have done things very different. I know my strategy. I know what or how I would prep and how I would set my table. I know this, but I didn't follow any of it because I didn't have the time to make anything new. And
Right.
that bummed me out because I really love the energy. I love the look on people's faces when they come into your booth and they're like, oh, look at that. And they pick it up and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And it just makes you feel so good. It's so validating. It's so validating when somebody wants to buy something that you made with your own hands. And you're like, wow, somebody wanted this enough that they paid me money for it. Like, it's so incredibly validating. But I now live vicariously through other people. I'm just like, you know what? I can't, but you can. So I'm going to help you do the best you can. And I'm just going to tell me all your stories.
Right. Without a doubt. But having a channel, you can kind of do that because it's like, oh, you watch my video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you made something. What I love doing is seeing when somebody makes something that I've showed them or, and it's in their Instagram feed or, something like that.
I can tell that market season is upon us because I've had quite a few people email me asking me for permissions to make some of my projects and sell them. And one second, I feel parched. I have a philosophy when it comes to my projects. I am 100% all for people making items from my patterns, from my videos, and selling them. I support it. I am all for it because in my personal opinion, I can't make enough to sell to people. I can't make enough or I cannot reach certain people in certain locations of the world. I just physically can't. But what I can do is I can share my ideas, my creations, the things that I came up with in my head. And it's really cool thinking that something that I came up with in my head is now an actual thing that somebody is enjoying on the other side of the world, and there's nothing more powerful than that. Like, I was given this gift to share with people, not to hoard. And if you want to make my things, I think that's awesome. That means I just put something into this world that people want to keep spreading. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, it reminds me of the story, The Rainbow Fish. Have you ever heard of that?
I think I have. It sounds very familiar.
It's a kid's book.
Right.
And this little fish has all the beautiful scales. And everybody says, oh, you're so pretty. But he doesn't know why he doesn't have any friends because he's keeping all the little scales to himself. But then he starts handing them out to his friends. And then he sees them all swimming around with like a couple little of his scales. And they're all shiny and pretty. And so I think it's one of the most beautiful kid stories I have ever read in my whole life.
I love that. Yeah, I like picturing the cover, but I couldn't recall the actual story that was inside. So
yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie now. I mean, I remember when it was new, but now it's an oldie but a goodie because my kids are old.
Oh, I'm getting there. I'm definitely, my daughter is 15, my son is 13, and I'm already feeling empty nest syndrome. And I'm like, they're still here, but I'm like, but I only have them for 3 more years. I know. I guess I'm a pessimist in that regard because I'm like already feeling the loss of them and they're still like right here. So.
I know. Well, my youngest is 17 now. And that is just, I've 6 of them have already flown out of the nest, but that last one, I'm holding on. He's like, Mom, it's okay.
I know. I'm kind of doing the same thing with my son. I've been called out for babying him a little too much. And I'm like, but he still loves me.
Baby.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So what's your favorite yarn to work with?
Oh, goodness. Depends on the project.
True.
Depends on the project. Okay, so Oh, and the details of the project.
Mhm.
For blankets, I like to work with a chunkier yarn because it's comfy. It works up really quickly, so
Mhm.
I can make something bigger faster. But the thing is the chunkier the yarn, the more it loses the detail of the stitch. And
Sure.
I am also somebody who really enjoys tinkering with stitches. I love texture. I love
Mhm.
those details because it makes the crocheting process so fun, right? You're not just, I mean, there is something to be said about a repetitive pattern that you don't even have to count. You just kind of like, you get through a row and you're like, oh, like,
Yeah.
okay, like on to the next. But there is something really cool about seeing this design. You're like, I did that. So, it's so cool. And that yarn needs to be the size 3, size 4, or DK
Mhm.
Aran size yarn. So a little bit thinner so you can actually see that detail.
Right.
Um, I don't really have a favorite. There's so many yarns now. And that's really, really hard. There's so many brands and so many labels and so many new fiber
Mhm.
combinations and stuff that come out constantly because they're constantly trying to flash the new shiny in our face
I
because
know.
us, we can't stop buying it. Like
No.
we,
No.
we're collectors, right?
Right.
Like we're all yarn obsessed, which is why I started my new series on fiber artists. But yeah, I don't have a favorite. It really comes down to color and texture or feel of it.
Sure. Sure.
And that's why it's also really difficult for me to buy yarn online because I like I'm a
Wanna feel it.
tactile person and I need to go in there. And even though I see it, and I'm like, that's beautiful. Step number 2 is now I got to
Mhm.
touch it, and see, like,
Right. Right.
because there's been times where I touch it, I'm like, nope, like, not for me, and
Not happening.
such a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my philosophy on that kind of project. Now with amigurumis, I really like the size 4 weight yarn,
Mhm.
non-textured, um, something that's strong and it's not too soft, I guess you would say.
You want it to have some structure to it, so it
Yeah, I've made some stuffies where I made the body, but then I go to put stuffing inside, and instantly you like see all the stuffing on the outside, and I'm like, so
I
I make my stitches for amigurumis really tight,
yeah,
and
you have
so some of my favorite yarns to use is Karen Simply Soft. And I know there's some people that don't care for it because it's slippery or
mhm.
it's splitty, but it also has a bit of a shine, and I think
Mhm.
it makes some of the most beautiful amigurumis because of that. Now there's more yarn. I haven't really kind of dove into the amigurumi department in a little while, but there's so many options now. It's just anything that can be really tight and crisp. That's what I'm going for with that. But I'm starting to dig into wearables. I'm starting to
Mm.
play with. I'm intrigued, and
Mhm.
so I'm diving in and learning structure because I figured if I can at least see how it was constructed,
Mhm.
I can deconstruct it, change the stitch, and personalize it however I want. But now I have all of the templates, I guess, to know how I then will put it back together to be what I want. And so I've been learning all these different structures
Mhm.
and playing with my own pattern, like just stitches that would work into that. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. But what I've also noticed digging into the world of wearables is that size 4 weight yarn that I'm so familiar working with, it's a bit heavy when
Mhm.
it comes to wearables. Like you can do it.
Sure.
It makes for great sweaters, great
Mhm.
cardigans. But if I want to make like a top, it's a little thick. And so I've been playing with size 2 weight
Mhm.
yarn, which is brand new to me. Never played with it before, never felt comfortable with it before. But now I'm like, oh, I get it. I see. It's thin, it's
Mhm.
comfortable. Got it. So I'm getting myself more comfortable with that teeny tiny size weight yarn. And it's a whole new world.
It
Whole
is.
world. Yeah.
It really is. It's like it makes it a whole new sport. It's like gone from basketball to baseball.
Gosh, yes.
Yes, balls are involved, but it's it's different.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So, okay, so going back just a little, tell me about your new series that you're working on. I want to hear all about it.
All right. So before I talk about it, have you noticed that YouTube has changed?
Uh, yeah, that's what I want to save YouTube till the end because I got a whole bunch of YouTube stuff to talk to you about. I gotta
We're
know.
gonna go over. We're going over.
We're going over, guys. Get your drinks, get your
It's
snacks.
not. Oh, it's not hard to do. Oh my gosh, because there's so much to talk about. Okay,
Oh,
so
can I
yeah, go for it.
can I tell you something really quick I saw this morning?
Yeah.
I saw a video that YouTube is coming out with a new app that you can edit everything in your app, kind of like with InShot,
Oh,
all the things. It's not coming out till the beginning of the year, but
that's cool.
and yeah, I've been doing a lot of Sean Cannell stuff.
I
So
like Sean. Yeah. I mean, I
I do
think
too.
media is on it. They are on it. So
On it.
yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, so back to your series.
Okay.
So back to your
Yeah,
series.
honestly, Think Media is one of the channels that I follow for most up to date, what's happening's kind of
Yeah.
information. So he's actually the only one I still follow at this point. I've stopped following a lot of my YouTube channels that I was
Mhm.
watching, and he's still one that I find great value out of. So
Well, it's because he gives great value no matter what. I mean, every video he puts out, great value. And I like his philosophy. I like the reason, his why, all of that kind of stuff. It's just the know, like, and trust thing,
yes, yes. And
without a doubt.
Mary, of course, you would say that. I'm reading your comment.
Okay.
It's like, yes, let's go over. Oh my god. Okay, so the new for the longest time when I first started my channel, year one, like I said, 3 months into it, COVID hit, and then everybody wanted to learn how to crochet. So my video direction was
Mhm.
really instructional. Like, here is how you crochet, here is how you make this project, and then you had to break everything down, and here's how, basically it's the how to's, right? All these how to do projects. But here we are 3 years later, and people now aren't super interested in how do I do this anymore. There's still some people that are, because there's still some people that really rely heavily on videos or visual help to get them through a project.
Mhm.
And it's because of those people that I am continuing to do tutorials, because I understand, you guys still, some of you still need it, but the amount of people that need it or the amount of people that watch it is going down.
Mhm.
So a lot of channels you're going to see transition away from tutorials now because the views aren't there. They're not there. So I was having to think hard this past year because my channel took a dive. People
Sure.
aren't watching tutorials. And I'm like, crap, I've got to salvage my channel somehow. What am I going to do? I've got to pivot. And I was racking my brain, and we were like, okay, what do people like? What are people interested in? We're like, yarn.
Mhm.
Because any video you do involving yarn gets a lot of views, whether it's a
Mhm.
yarn haul, brand new yarn. I mean, I think you probably have figured that out,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
right? So anything involving yarn, people are interested in. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not going to chase the rabbit. I am not going to replicate what other people are doing because, one, I don't want to.
Right. Right.
and two, it wouldn't be authentic. And
Mhm.
if I did, I wouldn't represent it or be nearly as seasoned as some of the other people that have been doing it for a while.
Sure.
So it would look inauthentic, right? So I'm like, I'm not
Mhm.
going to do that. But I was thinking how much fun it would be to go talk to people that engage in the fiber art community,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of see the process of yarn and everything you can do with yarn. So the whole series is centered, like yarn's the focal point, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like how they made it, what they did with it, kind of series. And I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And so I already have 2 videos on my channel. One where it's somebody who makes his own yarn with his
Mm-hmm.
own machines, and I follow the machines. That was really cool. The second one is a professional yarn dyer who showed us 3 different techniques that he does to professionally dye his yarn. I believe the next video is going to either release today or tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed. And it's going to be a home dyer, somebody who dyes their own yarn in their own home, but she dyes it in a professional manner. She uses acid dyes and she does the whole bit. Oh my gosh. I was thinking, I watched her from beginning to end, recording the whole thing. And I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be 3-4 hours tops. It was all day. I was exhausted by the end. I'm like, I don't know how these people do it.
It's a lot of work.
We got to a certain step and I'm like, thinking in my head, I didn't say this out loud, but I'm thinking in my head, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, so the next few things we're doing. And I'm like, are you serious? We're what? Like,
Can we take a snooze
I
break?
was so fried. I was so fried by the end, but it was great information and very fascinating to like just see how it's done. And another thing that I thought was really cool is everyone I talked to, they have their own point of view and they have a tip that they have learned or come across that is different than anything that other people have shared. So each video has this valuable little bit of, it's like a little nugget of information that's like, oh my gosh, like that's awesome. So you have to watch the videos.
Right.
And then coming soon, I have a yarn bowl maker who makes yarn bowls.
Cool.
And then I'm really excited to get in touch with a fiber mill where they have a farm, they have their own animals, and they shear their own animals, and they take the wool and they process it. In their they have their factory right there in home. So I get to watch how they process their own wool, and then they turn that wool into some really cool things. And I'm going to watch them do that.
Oh, that's
so yeah, there's some awesomeness out there, and it's just entertaining, and it's one of those things too, where it's binge worthy, where you can just watch it, get lost in it, and you're not learning something, you're entertained. And so that's where I had to really pivot and change my channel from people saying, oh, that's a cool project, but I'm not ready to crochet that. So I'm clicking out 3 minutes into the video to, oh, I can watch that whole thing and be entertained, So it's analytics. It's all those things that you have to pay attention to if you want a successful channel. It's unfortunate that you totally can make a channel where you do only what you want to do. You totally can. But if you want to be successful, you've got to follow the analytics.
Right. And it's not just, it's kind of like, it's not just numbers and analytics, but it's also kind of like psychology into going to what, going to what the people who watch you want to see. So it's like, you may sit here all day and think, oh my gosh, they just want to watch me do this all day long. But you got to go check out, and really listen and to look at those numbers to see where people are watching and what time and, all those kind of things.
Right. Oh, actually, I want to respond to this comment that somebody said. IB Serenity, you're right. There are only so many tutorials that one can follow to make the same or similar thing. There's only so many tutorials one can follow to make the same. Right. Sure. And that's where you start to identify the designers from the creators. The division. Right. The creators make something that's already been made. The designer will take something that's already been made and twist it into something different. So it becomes intriguing. And that's where it gets really hard too. Oh my gosh, there's so much.
There's so much.
So like, if you want to be super uber creative and you want to design this thing that is just gorgeous, but it intimidates people, they don't watch it.
Right.
They only watch things that they feel confident that they could actually do. And that's where I and other YouTubers that I've talked to get stuck, because we hear the people that are like, man, you know, it all looks like the same. It all looks so simple. It's because that's the only thing people watch. If all the things that I've made that are difficult in level got my worst views. And it's the things that were beginner friendly that all got my highest views. And it really kind of takes you as a creator and pigeonholes you a little bit, you know? And that's, I've tried to take other angles with that and educate people in a different way with that by saying, okay, what I'm going to do is we are going to take this thing that we're making and I'm going to make it as basic as possible so you feel confident to do it. But I'm showing you the structure so that way, if you are you have a designer mind, a creative mind, you can now take my template and do whatever you want with it. So I've done that with multiple of my projects, some of my tops, the skull pants, where I'm like, hey, here is like, the skull pants were hard too, because it's not easy finding dimensions for pants.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
I looked everywhere because there's so many different varying body sizes and shapes and everything. And I'm like, oh, good gravy, you know, but I'm like, what I can do though, is I can be like, okay, take the person's dimensions and then take this square. And how many squares can you fit in that dimension? And it doesn't have to be my skull square. It can be a granny square. It can be anything, you know.
Any square, yeah.
Any square. This is how you would do it. And so I really try to structure a lot of my patterns as thus, allowing creativity behind it, you know, just really showing you the bones. So that way, if you don't have a designer brain, you're just wanting to be creative and you just want to crochet, you feel confident to do so. But if you do have that designer brain, you can just get inspired and let your brain explode with ideas. So, and that's where it can be really, really challenging. I know we went a totally different direction right there. But,
that's okay. I love it. I love whatever direction we're going. It's great.
Right? So yeah, that's kind of where I went with my channel. My whole where it originated is, what's this new series I got going on? I realized that I needed to find a way to create content, a type of video that I could make that I would enjoy, but would also interest people on YouTube to watch. And it's still within my niche because it's still yarn related, it's still fiber related. So it's not like I completely went outside the box, like talking about cars or something. It's still very much related to my content. But at the same time, I'm still going to offer tutorials. But what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm having to do, which I've actually heard quite a few people are doing this too, is we will be doing tutorials for fast, easy projects. And anything that's more complicated, anything that takes longer, we're putting behind a paywall. What that means is it's in a membership program. And the reason we're doing that is because it is very difficult to spend the time, energy, money to create the demo, write the pattern, have the pattern tested, have the pattern tech edited, which every time I tech edit a pattern, it's $150 per tech editor to go over that pattern. $150.
A lot.
Per pattern to get it tech edited. And then, you know, all this is out of my pocket before I've even released the pattern. And then I have to record the tutorial. Then I have to edit the tutorial. Then I have to release the tutorial and promote the tutorial, because there's people that are like, I didn't see that video. When did you? It's like, So I have to put it on all my social media. I need to blast it, shout it out so people will even see the video that I just spent all this time and money on.
Sure.
And then it gets like 1,000 views maybe. And that means generally, I mean, I'm just doing kind of like an overview generality. So this number is not going to be the same for everybody, but 1,000 views makes you $8. So you put forth all that time, all that energy, all that money for $8. It's not worth it. It's so not worth it. So you put it behind a paywall. It's like, if you want it, I will do it, but you need to be a member in order to receive it, you know?
Well,
So.
and that makes sense too, because yeah, no, plus not only that, I imagine like back behind that paywall, they have a little more access, you know, it's like members have more access to you. So they have, if they do have a problem on the
Right.
path, and they can say, hey, what's you know, can you help me out with this, or you know, something like that, where it gets hard to do, you know, when you've got what, almost 300,000
I'm close.
subscribers.
I'm so
Which is
excited.
awesome.
Oh my gosh, girl. Like,
Like,
it's
amazing.
it makes me so happy and so humble. It touches my heart in so many ways, because just to know that many people want to crochet with me and want to be a part of my journey and let me be a part of theirs. And I know it sounds corny. I know that it sounds like it would be ingenuine, but literally it puts me in my feels to know how many people want to join my journey and want to hit that button and allow me to be a part of theirs. And it is really important. It is really special for people to hit that subscribe button, because it tells YouTube that you care about this person, you know, and
right, because when you think about it, when you subscribe to a channel, or when you subscribe to somebody, it's not because you don't want to see them, or it's just like on a passing whim. It's like, oh, well, I've watched their videos, and now, yes, I want to see what they've come up with next.
Exactly.
Which is so cool. So, you know, last year when we were talking, I remember asking you if you had a team of people that helped you, you know, helped you with your channel, because, oh my gosh, like I'm at that point right now where I need a team of people, but there's no way in this world I can get a team of people yet. But you had one person. Have you grown have you gotten any more teammates, or are you still?
I'm still with the same person. I need another person desperately, but it's so hard to trust. It's so hard to bring somebody in on your team, because if they mess up, you're the face, you know? So people, you know, it all comes back to you, you know? So that part's a challenge. But I still only have the one person, and she is a godsend, because she's family. And I think that's the only reason. That's the only reason why she helps me with as much as she does for as little as I pay her. Just because I haven't figured out the secret sauce yet to make a lot of money here on YouTube. I know it looks like I'm approaching 300,000 subscribers. I must make bank. No.
Yeah.
It's definitely helpful to have multiple revenue streams, and they tell you that in Think Media, and they tell you that really with everyone. Do not rely on YouTube, because YouTube's a roller coaster.
Right.
Your money on YouTube really depends on who watches your video and watches the ads. So everybody in the chat right now, we only get paid if you watch the ads. So if you could watch and just let it run, that would be so awesome. so yeah, they that's how you get paid on YouTube. And if like summer's the hardest, because not a lot of people crochet during the summer. But this time of year it starts to pick up, and so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But you know what's so great and beautiful about our niche, Ginger, is that there's so many different ideas and opportunities for revenue streams, such as our patterns. We can sell our patterns, and people in our niche They don't like to spend a lot of money on patterns. So I've learned this. So I've definitely kind of done the test and trial, you know,
Mhm.
where I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it at the $5.99 a pattern because I've seen other people do that. Sold
Mhm.
a couple. And then I'm like, okay, right, I'm going to try 99 cents. We're going to try 99 cents, you know, volume. We're going for volume. No, because then it made it look like my pattern sucked. You know, like, and so I'm like, gosh, okay. So I'm kind of in that middle now where I sell my patterns for $2.50, unless it was one that girl I shot for the stars with it, like my pants, the skull
Mhm.
pants. I'm like, I can't charge less than $4.50 on that. Even at $4.50 for that pattern, there's so much involved in that pattern.
I wouldn't charge less.
That's
Yeah.
got to be fair, right? That's got to be fair. So that seems to be my sweet spot. Now, my sweet spot might be different than your sweet spot because I have seen some very successful pattern designers that sell their patterns for $7.99 and they're just fine, you know?
Sure.
So there's definitely also the level of the pattern. If it's an easier pattern, it's probably less expensive. If it's a more difficult pattern, it's probably a little more
Mhm.
expensive. So there's like variables. There's
Right.
variables.
And
But
you know, oh,
oh,
go
go ahead.
ahead. Well, I was going to say, I've been talking to, well, I talk to a lot of designers, and it seems like the ones that it's a real mix. There are a lot that are really successful in putting up their patterns for free
Mhm.
on their website, you know, and having all the ads on the website
I have
and
something to
things
say
like that.
about that.
And then selling the PDF, which I never have a problem with because I'm like, oh, I want to do that pattern without all these ads. So I'm totally good with buying the PDF. But now,
Okay,
but
so I'm gonna get on my soapbox real quick.
okay, okay.
Okay. All of the people that offer their patterns for free on their blogs,
Mhm.
have you ever seen how many ads are on those blogs?
There's a lot. That's what I was saying. There's a lot of ads.
That's the only way they can make it free.
Right.
They actually, the reason why there's so many ads on there is because they're making their money through those ads. That's
Mhm.
why it's free.
Mhm.
And I think those ads are very distracting. I have ADHD and I get easily distracted. Very easily distracted, and I can find the pattern, you know, by diving in, but more times than I can count, I click on the button that I think is the pattern and it takes me to an ad. You know,
That's
I'm like, dang it. You know, like, and and that's how they make it free is they make their money by you going to their site and all those ads are there. And that is why if you go onto my website, you won't see any ads on there.
mhm.
You won't, because I think they're too distracting, and I think that it takes away from some of the joy of being there, and it takes away from the content, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so I may put I'm playing with it because again, I'm trying to test out different
Sure.
revenue streams, right?
Yep.
If I do play with it, I'm going to use very few on there because I don't want them to be to the point of distraction.
Right.
But right now, I don't have any ads on my website at all because I want people to go there and focus on my website.
Mhm.
I want them to find what they need to find, you know, and I want it to be very clear. And I want you to be able to read the blogs, and I want you to, yeah, I want you to be able to enjoy my website. You know, I mean,
Right.
pay for it, you know, like,
Right.
right. Um,
Yeah.
so, so that's why they're free, and that makes it so hard because people don't often know that information. They don't see that. So they're like, this person offers all of their patterns for free. I'm like, they're still getting paid. Like they're still making their money somehow. And I know this from speaking directly in person to multiple big
Mhm.
YouTubers that have their patterns for free and they offer them on their blog. Go look at their blog,
It,
see how many ads are there. That's how they're making their money, and that's how they're able to make it free.
yeah. It can be. 1000% agree. That's my biggest thing is like, oh, do I click there? I
Right?
don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to find out about Celexa or whatever. I don't
I
want to
don't
find
need
out
that
about that.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. No, no, I completely agree. And you know, 9 times out of 10, when I want to go, when I know that somebody has that pattern on their website for free, what I usually use the free part for is to just to take a look at it. And then I'm like, I'm done with these ads. I'm just going to buy the pattern,
Right.
like one of those type kind of things.
Right.
But
No,
yeah.
for me, when I first started on YouTube, I had when I first started on YouTube, I didn't realize how many people couldn't read a pattern.
Mhm.
Again, that whole I didn't do any research, I just kind of hopped in.
Right. Right.
And so I out of respect for pattern writers and designers, I said, and I still believe this to this day, that I will not do a tutorial on somebody else's pattern
Sure.
that is a paid for pattern, because I feel like I'm stealing from that person.
Mhm.
They've made their pattern to make their money, and I don't feel right now showing you how to do their pattern, so you can kind of like have a loophole around paying for their pattern. I don't want to do that,
Right.
unless they've given me the thumbs up that it's okay to do that.
Mhm.
But I felt when I first started that if they're offering it for free, they're offering it for free. So there shouldn't be a big deal in me supporting their channel, doing the tutorial, and linking their pattern, in my
Right.
description section. I don't take credit for their pattern. I would just
Mhm.
show, hey, I'm now going to do this blanket from this person's channel. Like, she's such a great artist, lift her up. If you want the pattern, go to her website, blah, 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 blah. Right.
Right. Right.
Um, but then I would, view their free pattern as a free pattern,
Mhm.
and it's tricky.
It does.
It's a gray area now that I've been around YouTube for 4 years, and I almost feel safer to just stay in my own, like, make my own patterns. And
Yeah.
there's a pro and a con to that. By me making my own patterns, then I don't have to worry about stepping on anyone's toes. I've never really had an issue with copyright. I've communicated or been asked by 2 designers to take my video down. I'm like, of course,
Mhm.
not a
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I instantly take that down. But it only happened the 2 times, and respect, right?
Right.
But just to make things a lot easier, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make my own patterns. But the problem with that is you can't just pull a pattern out of your butt. Like, it
No.
takes time, and you trial and error. Like, you may start something and it don't work, but do you have the time to mess that up? Because you need to stay consistent, making 1 video a week at least, to stay
Mhm.
relevant and have your followers follow you and get the views up and get all the stuff. Like,
Right.
so it's like, oh my gosh.
And there are a few designers that okay, I am not good at writing patterns. I am not good at doing tutorials. So I do very few of them, which, every once in a while I'll do one. And then it's like I'll have to just lay out flat for a while and be like, oh, and just
Oh my gosh.
cry for a while. It's just
Oh,
so
girl.
hard.
Okay, so I just released a video on Wednesday on my vlog channel. It's a bloopers video of a tutorial that I have coming. Usually I delete all these videos because
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm not going to use them in the tutorial. I don't want to have these videos taking up memory space on my drive, right?
Sure.
But I'm like, I think it might give people a laugh. So I made a quick little, like, I think it's 4 or 5 minutes max video of bloopers of me recording, and how it's not easy recording a video. And it's pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, go check
I'm
it
gonna
out.
go watch it. Yeah.
It's on my vlog channel, but I put a link to it in my main channel in the community section. So if you go to
Okay.
my main channel, go to the community. It's right there. Please watch it if you want to laugh.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. I think
fun.
probably anybody who does YouTube and crochet just needs to go watch it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
Because
even if you don't do it, just go
it's
watch it.
reality. And it being on this side of the camera, I think, I don't know how it is for you, Ginger, but for me, it can be easy to lose perspective of what other people see on the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
Because over here, I'm like, man, I mess up so many times. I'm human, and I'm just like, I'm just a girl, who loves to crochet and wants crochet to love her back.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
sorry, I do a lot of movie quote like things, but it's that's what I see. And I posted this bloopers video, just kind of like, here guys, this is just an example of what it's like to make a video and how you never get it in the first take. It's oftentimes multiple times, and it may, like, a 20-minute video may appear like it took just 20 minutes to make, or around 20 minutes to make. No. It could take me an hour to make, like, the intro.
Sure.
Because I just can't get the words to come out of my mouth, and so this is kind of just a funny example of the human part behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to go watch that.
Oh,
I'm
it's
gonna
so
watch
funny.
that. I know.
If anything, just for a laugh, it's literally just kind of bloopers, goofy, real, just, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, and then there's the editing too, because it's like, okay, you may have this, say if you crazily did it all in one take, the take took an hour to make. You're like, okay, I'm done. By the time you finish editing it down, there might be 15 minutes,
Right. Yeah. Jess, word on words. Word. I feel you. She's over there like, words are hard.
Or they are hard.
Yeah. They can be. They can mess with you.
Once you get to a certain age, sometimes the words kind of run away from you. So it's not like, not only are they hard, but I can't remember my words. Where did they go?
Or I'm speaking so fast that I'm speaking faster than the words can form out of my mouth, and so all of a sudden it sounds like a giggly like,
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing. But
Yeah.
it's sweet though. I had multiple people watch the video and they're like, oh my gosh, I literally thought you just make it look so effortless. I really thought that you could just take this in one take. And that was the whole, like, where it's that disassociation, I guess, where I'm over here like, man, I'm exhausted. My voice is gone. My throat hurts because I've been talking all day long. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then other people are like, you did that so easy because of the editing. The editing makes it look so nice.
That's what I tell people. It takes a lot of work to make this look easy. It takes so much work to make it look easy.
But yeah, I'm grateful for my editor.
Yeah.
I've had somebody help me edit my videos for a year now, and like a year, almost 2 years now. Thank goodness. So for 2 years, I was doing everything myself. There definitely gets to be a point where you grow to a certain point where you need help, and the editing is the biggest part, because you can then take everything you did and hand it to somebody and they can make it look beautiful for you. Because it would take me 20 hours to edit a video. I'd be up till 1 a.m, just editing a video to get it ready to launch. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just as long to edit it as it was to record it, But
yeah, and plus come up with the ideas and keep on, it's just a balance. And it's always like there's a certain area when you get to a certain point with your YouTube things, where it's like, if you do this one thing, there's not going to be enough time to do the other thing. If I want to make this video or this design or crochet this thing to show everybody, there's not going to edit the video, not going to post anything on Instagram this week, not going to advertise anything. It's like that. So it's a balance.
Oh, 100% with the balance, especially if like when I was doing a lot of tutorials, because I've had to balance my channel content to save my
mind.
I can't even think anymore. My sanity, to save my sanity.
Right,
The
right.
SS thing like kind of got me. Yeah, just save my sanity.
Yeah.
Before I was making a tutorial every single week. So I'd be like, okay, this week I'm doing this project, but I also want to make a blanket, but I can't whip out a blanket like in a week. So I start the blanket here. So I'm working on two projects, two
Mm-hmm.
projects, two projects. And then, oh, now I'm ready to release it. But now it's like, once I'm ready, I need to know what I'm doing the week after that, like back here. So it's almost like so many things, moving parts, kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like this,
Oh, I'm feeling you.
right? And there's just
I'm
so many
totally
things you got to
feeling
have working at the same time in order for them to hit so you can release something every single week. So yeah, that became too much. And at that point,
her.
on top of, doing everything you got to do for your
Mhm.
projects and your videos to create them, you also need to respond to every comment. You need to respond to every email. You need to
Mhm.
be posting on social media. Oh, and also answering all the comments over there as well. You need to be everywhere
Right.
doing everything, and it just becomes too much sometimes, which is when
Yeah.
help becomes big. Now, I
Yeah.
think if I were to hire another person, I'm in the same boat as I was last year.
I
Honestly, if I were to hire another person, I would hire somebody to help me with my social media,
yeah,
because that's the area that I just
huge.
struggle with the most, and that's so
Mhm.
important because it is your advertising, it's your marketing. And
Right.
I mean, it's so frustrating to spend so much time and energy on a video. It releases on this
Mhm.
Friday, and then by this Friday, everyone forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I look back on some of my videos. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that, didn't I? Like I did that. And it's like it just comes in, instantly goes. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to make some of my older content work
Yeah.
harder for me. And how
Mhm.
I do that is with social media. I post
Right.
pictures of the older content and be like, remember when we did this?
Mhm.
If you didn't see that or didn't know we did this, check out the video, making that
Sure.
older stuff work for you. And I'm grateful that I'm at the point now where I've built up somewhat of a catalog of stuff for you to watch.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. And that's what I've been trying to do. Last year, I had the series where I invited designers on and everything to talk about crochet. And this year I thought, well, I'm going to be a little more strategic about it. I've
ooh,
come up with this thing where I'm thinking smarter, not working harder, right? Trying to do that.
girl,
And
I hear you. I
I
get, I
can't
get told that all the time. They're like, Tiffany, work smarter, not harder. And I'm like, okay, how do I do that?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I've been you know what is crazy? I signed up for the I was in VRA, but then I signed up for the VRA Elite because I'm like, "Oh my, I gotta I gotta make a turn in here somewhere," because, you realize you've got all these things you wanna show, all these things you want to, do on your channel,
Yep.
but it's like, gotta think smarter about it. But even before I'm proud of this, or even before I joined, I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna copy a little off of Joe Rogan here." And I
Oh,
am going to
oh, okay.
when I do my interviews, I'm going to I've got StreamYard so it records at the same time. So not
Right.
only will a full video come out, but also, you can break that video down into segments
Sure.
and
Yeah.
shorts. And so kind of work harder that way, but also I think what that does, it's win-win-win everywhere because it not only um, you know, more videos, but it's also gives whoever I'm interviewing you more, more coverage out there.
Right.
And so I'm trying that this year to see how it goes.
Right.
And plus I've been asking designers who maybe do things a little differently, like some Tunisian crochet, some mosaic crochet, different types of techniques and things like that.
Right.
And that's what gets me excited because it's one of those things, well, I want to learn how to do, that kind of thing.
Right. I mean, honestly, what I think I'm going to be doing, how I'm going to be transitioning is I will be doing like I mentioned, the quick easy projects or the quick easy how to.
Sure.
So I might do a very easy mosaic project, because I see Samantha. Hi, Samantha. Please do a tutorial on mosaic crochet. So on mosaic crochet, because I've got to keep my videos less than 20 minutes. There's so much, there's so many things that you have to take into consideration as a YouTube content creator. I have to keep my videos probably under 15 minutes, really, for anyone to actually give it a shot, to click on it. So I have to make it that quick, and I have to be very efficient, and I have to be very clear, and I have to also try to make a project that other people want to make. So what I would do if I was teaching something brand new like Tunisian or mosaic is I would do something very small, and that way I could be very clear with the how-to instructions and get you to practice and play and understand the technique, you know. But if I were to want to do something larger than that, I would put it behind a paywall. I would do it, but for my members, you know, because it would not translate well on YouTube. It just doesn't. And that's not fair to the few people that want to see it on YouTube, and the few people that are like, but I don't want to join a membership, but I can't afford a membership. It's like, I feel you, I get you. But from our side, in our shoes, it's so hard to do all that work for nothing, for pennies, you know. It's so hard. Yeah. So, but I have to admit though, my membership program is pretty awesome. It's super awesome. I am one of those people that I have a really difficult time taking anyone's money unless I can prove the enormous value that you're getting out of it. Yeah. So I have stocked up my membership program with so much value. It's not even funny. I charge $5.99 a month, and you get all my patterns for free. You get to see, you get the opportunity to have all of my videos downloadable, no ads, and you can watch them online, offline, wherever you are. I do a Zoom once a week, sometimes twice, two Saturdays also a month. So every Wednesday and 2 Saturdays a month for my UK crowd. And I can see you. I can hear you. I pay for an extra program outside, so that way I can do this and have that extra special bond with my members. I also do contests, challenges. We have a fall contest coming up. We have the Hobie Yarn Challenge that we're doing. We do crochet alongs, where I do projects that my members want to see. So I'm like, guys, what do you want? And then they vote, and I'm like, cool, let's do it. Because I don't have to worry about analytics. That's fun. I don't have to worry about analytics. So if they want to do a wearable, if they want to do something extremely like intricate, they all have to vote. But I'm like, okay, let's do it. You know, that's what you want. So let's go. So there's so much value. And now we're doing bingo and trivia night, and like, there's just so much involved in this membership program for $5.99 a month.
Where do you find the time to do it all? I'm like, oh my gosh, you are the superwoman of memberships. I need to totally take your membership class.
Oh girl, it's been a work in progress, you know, trying to figure it out. But I'm realizing that YouTube is changing so much that it's becoming very difficult for us in our niche to be successful. Sure. So it's my way of finding another revenue stream. So, and it's a more consistent revenue stream, right? Right. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to increase the value over there, still be present on YouTube and be there for people, and use YouTube for what it's supposed to be, and that is a search engine. You're looking for something, let me show you how to do that something. Or you're looking for something like you with your yarn. People are looking for what's new. People are looking for what to watch out for, you know. It's the search engine. And then if you want all that extra, if you want anything that involves my time, right, membership program.
To be part of the community.
Yes.
And that's being part. I think that's what a lot of people want to do. They want to be part of the community, and are happy to,
They do.
pay membership fee and all that kind of stuff, because it's so much more than just, oh, hey, I'm buying something. It's like,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
part of some, we're part of this together.
100%. All of my members that I have are the most supportive, loving, uplifting people.
Hmm.
I love them all so much, and they know it. They
Yeah.
know it. You know
Yeah.
it. Like those of you that are in the chat, you know it.
And
But
I feel the same way about my members, and everybody
yeah,
that I've ever heard of that's in your membership just loves you to death. So,
right.
it's so
And
much
I don't
more.
and I don't want to gouge people because I want people to want to be there. I want the value to I want to charge so little for what I'm offering that you're like, I'd be silly not to do that.
Yeah.
That's the angle that I'm going for. And so that's what I hope for, and that's what I'm building, and that's what I'm
So
hoping
now,
to do.
how big are your Zoom meetings? Because I know
They're growing.
one thing I find is it's so hard to like during a Discord meeting. I do some meetings on Discord and out on YouTube or whatever, but it's hard to talk.
Mhm.
It's hard. Like sometimes everybody wants to talk at the same time, and it's like, I mean, I love
It's
it, but
so
it's
true.
like I want to
It's so
hear
true.
everybody.
Okay, so when I had to learn this because no one else, I don't know anyone else. I think maybe one other person I've been told does this now, but I was the
Mhm.
first to do it. Nobody else has lives where multiple people can be seen and heard.
Mhm.
It's usually just the one person in the chat room, right? But I wanted the bond. I wanted to feel like we were all in the same room together.
Sure.
And that was super important to me. But when I first started, I didn't have the structure. I was just kind of like, okay, we're all here. Everyone just talk when you want to talk. And, like if you have a question, then let us know, kind of thing. And it was chaos.
Mhm.
It was chaos because I had like 3 people that were heavy talker. They just love to talk.
Mhm.
And then they wouldn't feel like they'd interrupt each other, or they wouldn't feel like they could say what they wanted to say.
Mhm.
And I would feel really bad because then people would get their feelings hurt, right? And that's
Right.
not what these memberships are supposed to be. It's supposed to be
No.
uplifting, and we care about each other, and
Mhm.
we're there for each other, and you're supposed to feel safe, and you're supposed to feel cared about when you're there. So I was like, okay, I now need to take back the reins. I now need to add more structure so everyone can feel heard, everyone can feel seen, and
Mhm.
everyone can feel a part of this group. And that's what I did. So what I do now is when everyone joins in, they're instantly muted. And I welcome everybody. And I mention, guys, welcome in. Please continue to stay muted. I remind them because some people enter and instantly unmute. And I'll be like, please stay muted. So that way we don't get all that extra background noise that builds up on it. And I say I have it structured now where I say
Mhm.
some announcements in the beginning, and then I go straight to questions. And the way they ask questions is they push the hands up thing. And so a
Mhm.
little hand will pop up in the corner. And so I'll know who to address. And I'll be like, okay, this person, what's your question? And they're the only one that can unmute themselves. So I kind of had to train and just kind of structure in that way. And it makes it so great. Now I still do have a couple people that just love to talk. They're there. They don't talk to anybody. They're alone. They're lonely. And I might be the only person they've talked to all
Mhm.
week. And my heart just goes out to those people. But I do try to keep their time limited with how much they talk. Like I'll let them share a story. And then I'm like, okay, I have another hand. Is there anything that you need so I can get to this other person, kind of gently wrap them up. And then I go to the next hand, and I I am growing. So these meetings are lasting a little bit longer and longer, but honestly, I just want to be there for my people. So
Yeah.
I tell my husband, because my husband's the one that's been noticing that my meetings are lasting longer. He's like, you were in there for a while. And I'm like, I mean, come on, but
Yeah.
the more people join, the more people that want to share, I'm
Mhm.
open to having them go a little bit longer to help them, be there. I'm there. You have my time. And If you have a question, then I am there for you. Now, if you want, what I did have is I had some people that they needed to talk.
Mhm.
A lot of people, they need to talk,
Mhm.
and they see you and they hear you. You are an interaction, and that is so powerful for so many people. And I've realized that I needed to create a chat room for people that to interact with each other anytime they want.
Mhm.
And if they want to create their own like private video chats together,
Mhm.
they can do that. So I created a private chat for my group just recently so they
Mhm.
could have that feeling like on days we don't have our Zoom meeting, they can still get an interaction.
Yeah.
It's all about community. It's all about community, just building it up, and it's all
Yeah.
positive. It's beautiful. These people, they support each other. I have had so many stories of people saying, gosh, dang it, I ran out of yarn. And another person will be like,
Mhm.
what did you run out of? And they're like, this. And they're like, I'm sending it in the mail tomorrow. And they're like, wait, what? And like, it's like just people are shipping each other yarn and
Yeah.
shipping each other things just to help each other
Sure.
through projects. Or I also have people that need to purge yarn. Maybe they bought a yarn and they don't like it anymore. Or,
Mhm.
they have a yarn that they just haven't used in years and they want to purge, make room so they can buy something else. They do giveaways of their own during my Zoom. They're like, hey guys, I want to get rid of this yarn. Who wants it? We're going to
Yeah.
do a giveaway. Guess a number between blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
it's just really funny. Their interactions with each other. Like, yes, there's a lot of times where I need to structure and facilitate, but there's a lot of times when everyone is like talking amongst each other and there's been
Mhm.
bonds. There has been people that live in completely different states that have met up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
gosh, this is powerful. This is so beautiful. So I'm really excited about it.
That's what I love about the community is that, a lot of times, and me included, for so many years, I had kids and I didn't get to get out. I didn't go out and do things. I
Yeah.
met
Yeah.
my kids' friends and things like that, but I stayed at home and I really didn't have any of my own friends.
100%.
And when, the YouTube community came along and it was like, wow, I have people that are, interested in the same things that I am. Not only that, maybe a lot of us just haven't been able to get out of the house a lot. So,
Yes.
and it is so important. I look at it as, I don't know. I just think it's wonderful. I know that a lot of people have met, in my community and just seeing each other in the chats, even just on the regular YouTube. And it goes
Yeah.
a step farther in the, in when you go further in the community. And I just think it's great.
I did too. I did too. All right. So what other questions? Because I know we haven't even touched
Oh,
YouTube yet.
oh my gosh. We're like on question number 4.
I told you we do this.
Oh,
Like,
oh my
oh my gosh.
gosh.
Wait, 4 of how many?
I have 40. Okay. So maybe we won't get to all of them. That's
That's
okay.
fine.
That is okay. Let's see. And now I can't see any questions that are on this list that I really want to ask. Um, okay, here's just throwing it out there.
Sure.
Do
Go
you
for it.
have any tips for beginning crocheters?
Ooh. I do. For beginner crocheters, I recommend that they take a second and review the basics. That's huge. I know most people, I'm not going to say all, but most people that want to start crocheting, they want to start crocheting for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
New baby's coming. I need to make a blanket, need to figure out how to crochet, or I want to make that stuffed animal because it looked super adorable. I
Mm-hmm.
want to do it. There's usually a reason that they are starting. Not always. Some people just want a new hobby. So let me start from the beginning. Let me learn, from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
In general, they want to jump right in. Sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. And it can lead to a lot of frustration. So my big suggestion to any beginner, even if you have started, even if you have made a blanket, have made your first project already, pause, take a second, and review the basics. Because if you give yourself a really strong foundation, then you're able to do so much more and enjoy the process. And I think that's the biggest thing. We're all here to crochet. Crochet is beautiful. It's not only something that we can do to create beautiful things that are meaningful, create memories. It's part of your heart and soul. It does a lot of things for your own mental health, but it's also something that it is good for, it is good for you personally. It takes away stress. It takes away loneliness. It takes away depression. There's so many stories that I've heard where crochet has saved people's lives. It's turned people around. It's powerful and beautiful. And I cannot boast about crochet more. I want to shout it out to the world. I want to share it with everybody. I want to teach everybody. I want to teach everybody how to crochet. And I want you to enjoy it, though. I don't want you to get into it and get frustrated and mad and then throw it on the ground and I'm never doing that again. I want that. I want you to love the process, fall in love with the process, and reap all of the benefits that crochet can offer you. And the way that you can do that is to just educate yourself. Learn those basic stitches. What does this mean? What does it look like? Where do I put my crochet hook? What happens if I put my crochet hook there? It's awesome, and I know it can be a big challenge to teach people how to crochet sometimes digitally, because I just want to be there behind you, like with my hands over your hands, like, hey, do this.
Deborah says, Tiffany, you are an excellent teacher.
Oh, and Deborah, thank you so much.
And
I really try.
That's where I feel like I have a really a hard time making tutorials, is because I don't feel like I'm a very good teacher in the respect that I feel like I've been crocheting so long that it's hard for me to get to think about what it was like to first crochet, and to get in there and, do the basics and everything like that.
Now, I really wish, and I think that I would love to do this, but I need to just remember to do it. There's so many things that I want to do. And I know that, like Mary, you can attest to this, that I want to do so many things. But literally, I could be on YouTube for 40 years. There's so many things that I want to show you and do with you and experiment and play and just educate and lift you up, But I think something that would be really cool was if someone could draw a very specific, bold line dividing up tutorial level projects. Be like, okay, guys, right here. I mean, I can do this on my channel. I could do this like that. I can't control all of YouTube, but I can be like, okay, guys, here, all these videos right here are for the absolute beginner, just picked up a crochet hook. Okay. Now these videos here, they're for the next level up. These videos here, next level up, right?
Right.
Because it can be really difficult as a teacher to be teaching a project and you have one person complaining that you're going too fast and you have another person complaining you're taking forever, and it's like you can't please everybody,
It's like being a teacher in a one-room schoolhouse, right?
With millions of children. Right? It's like, okay, so if we could identify, okay, guys, I'm making this blanket for the absolute beginner crocheter, then I can now have the permission to go slow, and be very, just know who I'm making my content for. I don't have to worry about speeding up for this person. I can just know my viewer that I'm aiming this video towards is needing me to go slow right now. So anyone that's saying I'm taking too long, I need to direct them to the next level up, you know? And I just wish that people could respect that too, and understand that, just educate themselves too, know where they stand, instead of instantly going to a video and assuming that that video is meant for them. Like understanding, you are an intermediate crocheter, you're watching a beginner friendly video. Like, yeah.
So I think you should start it on your channel. You should be the trend starter for this.
Honestly, I have it written down that so I did a video already that I called "What Level Are You?" And it breaks down the different levels of crocheter that are out there and what it means to be that level, what is expected of you to know to be in that level. Now, you don't have to know everything in that level.
Right.
But if a pattern says, I need you to shape your garment, or I need you to shape your crochet project, and it says that this is for an easy level, not even an intermediate level, but between an advanced beginner and an intermediate is easy. So if they're saying, I need you to shape this project, and you're like, that's too hard. What are you doing? It's actually expected of you to know that in that level. So you can't say that's too hard for you. You need to step backwards to the next level down and learn that step, you know, bring yourself up to that. So I made a video like breaking that down. What I'm hoping to do, I have it written down. I just need to do it. Do it. I want to create little mini videos where it's like, okay, all of you absolute beginners, this is what it means to be an absolute beginner. These are the things that you need to learn to level up to the next level. And I break everything down. And like, great, you have now advanced to the next level. This is what you're called. Now, this is what you need to achieve to grow to the next level, you know, advance to the next level. And then like, I have to demonstrate and actually educate everything on there, and then you know, and like do that for every level. That's what I really want to do, to really be clear. But what I'm hoping, you know, we do this work, we put that information out there. I need people to watch it. I mean, I can put out the information, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. You know, I can put the content out there, but who's going to watch it? You know,
exactly. Or you know, you could always do something like, you know, until you make those videos, which I think you should. They'd be great. You know, make like a PDF that like list all the different kinds. You know, the different levels.
I have that. I have that. Yeah, anyone in the. Oh, I lost her. No, she's coming back. Okay, there she is. Anyone here in the chat or anyone watching the replay, if you go to my YouTube channel, if you go to my website, crochetwithtiffany.com, on the tabs on the top, there's a resources tab. If you click on resources, it'll open up all the PDFs or documents that I've created. I've really had fun with Canva. So some of them look very fancy, you know, but I love Canva. Canva is awesome. It's definitely a way of making you look professional when you're not.
Amen.
Right. And I created a page breaking down all the levels and what's expected or, you know, involved in that level. So it's there.
That is really, really, really helpful. Now, your education background is showing.
Yes. So, I mean, that is something that few people know, but it is a benefit. It is something that helps me out, that I do have a degree in education. I did go to college to be a teacher. So I think that puts me in a really good space to know about learners. Because I had to learn. I had to take a class on different learning abilities. So I understand that not everybody learns the same way, which is why I try to offer different ways for people to follow my video as I'm doing it. So I say the audible, I show the visual, and then I try to have some text on the screen.
Mhm.
So that way, even if you heard me say it, if you read it to it, it attaches itself to a different part of your brain, you know? So
Sure.
I try to hit all of these areas, and I've heard it's helpful. And so I'm grateful for
Mhm.
that. But even if the text isn't on the screen, there is a pattern, that you can also like get the pattern. Like I try to speak to the pattern, just how
Mhm.
it's written. So you follow that, you hear me, you see what I'm doing. It should all kind of like puzzle together, like click together.
Sure. That makes total sense. All the senses are touched.
All this, oh, yeah. And the only thing that I could do that extra that I can't on video is actually be there with you in like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, which is, until I don't know, until AI gets
Oh, girl.
really seriously better. you
I've
know,
I've heard I've heard oh, what's his name? The guy who did Facebook. What's his name?
oh, Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to do the not teleportation, but the where the
Oh, starts with an H. Holographic?
holographic. Yeah, he's trying to do holographic. And
Yeah.
that's the next direction that they're going. I'm like, guys, I might be in
Mhm.
your living room.
Oh my gosh.
I might be in your living room next. Who knows?
I can say that to
I'm there
everyone.
like
They're like,
I'm
no.
sitting next to you. I'm sitting next to you, like showing you, like this is what you need to do.
That's right.
Like how crazy would that be? Like,
I'm wrapping my arms around you and doing it like that. That would be too crazy. Yeah.
right?
But
Oh
isn't
man,
isn't don't even get me started on AI and crochet and YouTube. I could just go into that for hours.
what's your opinion?
I think it's very helpful. I think it's a very, very helpful tool. And I don't think it's something that people should rely on to do their work for them. But
Yeah,
I do think that it speeds things up exponentially. The only thing that I would say is a drawback to that is that it will get us used to maybe not doing the thought work that we need to do certain things. But
yeah,
just because you get used to it, like just say the very basic thing, like in college you learn how to, or in high school, wherever you learn how to write a paper, you
right,
learn the things you do so you can whip it out relatively fast, maybe a couple of hours.
right.
But here AI comes along and does it in 30 seconds.
Okay. There's a couple ways that I've used AI, and I'm actually extremely grateful to AI, but I
Mhm.
use it in a different way. I don't I don't it's like plagiarize or copyright. I don't let AI run my show, if that
Right,
makes sense.
right, sure.
What I have different ways that I have used AI is I'll ask them to write like a script out for me. I'll be like, okay, so this is like AI,
Uh-huh.
write me a script for a YouTube video where I'm teaching a crochet tutorial on a project like this, so on a
Sure.
blanket project. So what I didn't tell them was what the stitch was. I didn't tell them how big to make the blanket was. There's certain
Mhm.
information that I didn't include, but what that does is it gives me a really great outline. And what
Right.
I have learned from AI is it will bring up like tips or extra
Yeah.
things that you could include in your video. I'm like, oh, that's good.
Like,
Oh,
how
I
did
never would have thought of that. Oh yeah. Oh, this is gonna be great. Like so
I
it makes the video better. Like it improves the video
yeah,
not by doing it for you, but almost giving you that reminder of information
sure.
that just levels up your video to make it even better. And I'm like, that's brilliant. That's great. And
Yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
Without a doubt. Now, do you use the Chat GPT version with the plugins?
Plugins. I haven't played with plugins.
The plugins make it even better. Like, I can't live life without my Chat GPT, without my plugins. Because
What's a plugin? So is it
oh,
like your channel name, like data that's just repetitive or
well, there's a couple of different things you can do with the paid for version of the Chat GPT. You can put customizations in there, like things you want added into every single thing, and say, this is my personality. This is how I want you to make all of my posts sound. This is my voice. Please speak with it. And ChatGPT, of course, is like, okay. And so,
Right.
and so now it's like when I go in, I call it, hey, Yarny friend. And it's like, hey, Yarny friend. And, all
Oh
this
my
kind of
gosh.
stuff. But
Right.
you can customize it to do anything you want to. And I mean, with each response they give you, like respond in a friendly way, but have
Yeah.
that as your main thing in there, in the like in the settings. But then
Right.
the plugins, like there's a plugin that I use called Video Insights
Okay.
that will go in, take any video that you've just posted, say you've got it in private, and you can say, hey, Yarny friend, for this video, will you please write a video summary of my video that I can put in the description?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll give you a whole transcript. It'll give you
Oh
a
yeah.
summary,
Mm-hmm.
so many things. It's
Right.
nuts. It's
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. I know I'm picking on you, Mary, but it's because you tell me the most stuff about myself. So, uh, one of my followers in my membership program decided it would be fun if she created a crossword puzzle where the answers that would go in the crossword puzzle would be names to some of my YouTube videos.
Mhm.
And so in the questions for those answers, it was like having you reference the description of the YouTube video to find the answers. And Mary's like, Tiffany, you used the same description paragraph for like 10 videos.
No, no.
And I was like, it wouldn't surprise me. I hate doing them. I just do a lot of copy paste. And it's just, I wouldn't know the right words to say, and I wouldn't know how to sell it, and I wouldn't know how to
Yeah.
fluff it, I'd be
Right.
like, hey, this is a crochet tutorial on a blanket, I hope you enjoy,
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But
Oh,
yeah, I will use AI to help me make a really good paragraph. I'll be like, and I do the free version because
yeah.
I do Chat GPT. I also have Genie on an
Mhm.
app on my phone, which is also free. And there's a couple of them that you can play with. They're all great. But I will
Yeah.
literally type in there. I'll be like, write me a paragraph for my YouTube video where I teach how to crochet a blanket using this stitch. It is this level, and it's meant for like a baby, something like that. And it will come up with this paragraph that is like extravagant and so
It's
perfect. And I'm
insane.
like, yeah, that sounds good. We'll go with
Like,
that.
yeah,
like,
I like that.
oh my
That
gosh.
sounds
And
just
it's
like
just,
I wrote it.
yeah, it's just the fluff paragraph. So I don't have any problem like using that. I'm just like perfect because I don't want to think about it. I need my brain power for other things.
Right. Well, and that's the thing where it helps me is that when you're done at the end of the day and you've still got like an hour or two left to work, and writing descriptions may be part of it. It's like my brain is done.
Right?
My brain is done. And and then here comes Chat GPT to the rescue.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I-
No, I used it as a blessing, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I used it to make my videos better. Yeah, I used
Yeah.
it to make my videos better. And I know that there are many people that have their own thoughts on it. I think it's just a matter of how you utilize it, because there's definitely ways that it can help you out.
Yeah.
So
For sure. For sure. It's another tool.
it's just another tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make your life easier, to make
Yeah.
things go faster. So
Yeah.
I like it.
Just like there would be no way in the world we could be getting out to, like there's 104 people in the chat right now.
Wow,
We could
check
be
that out. Very cool.
in all of your living rooms at the same moment right now, talking to all of you. So
Yes.
thank goodness for the tool of YouTube.
Right?
But I loved what Sheila said. She said having all the hologram crocheters in the house when hubby comes home from work.
I could just see the look on his face, like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
He wouldn't come in. He would turn around and go
Probably.
out.
Probably. Yeah, I could see that. I know my husband probably, my husband would be like, what the?
What is going on here?
Right? Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
going back to my Zoom meetings, you were asking about the number of people that are there, and
Mhm.
the number of people that are joining the Zoom meetings is growing. But having and there's a lot of faces that's
Yeah.
on the screen, and I do realize that having a computer is beneficial because you can have more screen space to see more people's faces. When you're
Mhm.
on your phone or your tablet, it's less screen space for people's faces to show up
Sure.
on, which is why it's also very helpful to have it structured. So again,
Mhm.
everyone can feel seen and heard. And I do like this. I don't know if it's Brady Bunch style or what, but when I first
Thank you, Tiffany.
when I first start the live, oh Mary, you're the
Thank you so much.
sweetest. Oh, when I first enter into live, I will welcome everybody that is there, and I will say
Mhm.
everybody's name. And if you don't want to join the Zoom, but you want to be like a fly on the wall and just kind of watch, you can
Mhm.
stay watching the live that is broadcast in my membership program, and you can
Mhm.
chat to still feel interactive. And I communicate with people, and I say hi to everybody that's also saying
Mhm.
hi in the chat. Now, there's been a couple times where I will close out the meeting and I will go back to see my live in the crochet club, and there's like 8 people that were there and nobody said hi, and I'm like, okay, so I didn't even know you were there. The flies on the
Yeah.
wall, like, okay. but yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting as it grows, just how it develops,
Yeah.
and I think it's exciting. And I think there'll be a point one day in the future where it may get to the point where I need like my own, not yeah, representatives, or the people where I will lean on them to really help
Right.
me in smaller groups, kind of thing. Oh,
Aw, thank you, beach girl.
that's
Thank you very much.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
But it's also something really cool. There's been multiple times where we've talked about doing a retreat together, and it's
Yeah.
really nice to have a face and know the person that you might possibly go on a retreat with.
Right.
It's like,
Exactly.
but I would love that. I think it would be awesome. And I only talk about this to my crochet club members because I feel more comfortable with them. I have that relationship with them, and like, hey guys, you want to do a retreat? You want to go do something? I'd love to formulate that. Maybe next year, I would love to try to put something
Mhm.
together like that. But
Oh,
that's the only place that I would be releasing that drop is in
right.
the membership program.
Sure.
So, oh, and you, Yarn Geek.
Oh, well, thank you. Let's go.
Right?
Let's get this party started.
Okay, girl. Give me another question.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so many more. Let me see. Now these are all about crochet, but I feel like we've pretty much covered all of these
Oh, in like
questions.
a nonchalant way. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
kind of
makes
like
sense.
as we've been talking. Whew. Yeah, so okay, here, let's say what is next? Like what's your next big thing coming up? Like do you have any big project coming up this year like during the holidays or that you have coming up in the future? We want to hear. Spill the tea.
Oh, girl.
And oh, just here, I'm gonna put on my neck fan because you may not have hit this time in life yet, but neck fans are a
Respect.
godsend.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Um, oh, so there is a lot that I want to do, a lot that I can do. It's a matter of if I can, or when, not if, but when I can bring it to fruition.
Mhm.
So there are 2 courses that I would love to bring out.
Mhm.
One is a course on bubble letters with customizations, so that way people can personalize projects however they want.
Right.
Another course involving a fidget blanket options. with
Mhm.
different squares that offer different sensory benefits that you can customize which ones you want, which ones you don't want, and
Mhm.
put together your own fidget blanket for either yourself, the elderly community, or the younger crowd that has all
Well,
those needs for like the fidget toys or whatever, making the
yeah.
fidget blanket. So those are two big courses I think are going to be very special.
Mhm.
My channel is going into a direction that I feel very passionate about, and that is crocheting with a purpose
Mhm.
and helping make the world a better place.
Yeah.
I've always been a big advocate in crochet something with a purpose, like either
Mhm.
crochet something to make a memory and never to just crochet something just because. And the reason I say that is I know a lot of people are like, but I just want to just have something to fiddle with for my brain, something to fiddle with
Mhm.
to relax. Well, if you fiddle with this thing, what are you going to do with it when you're done with it? Are you
Mhm.
going to just have it be thrown in the pile of blankets that you've accumulated, or do you want to donate it? Do you want
Mhm.
to make somebody's life better by donating it? Do you want to, like, there's lots of things you could do with it, right?
Right.
So it's, I'm going to be going in that direction of making this world a better place. And so I'm going to, what else? I have so much. So I just became a spokesperson to a local yarn shop in my area.
I saw that.
He makes his very own bamboo fiber yarn. So everything in his yarn is plant based, whether it's
Mhm.
bamboo or bamboo cotton blend. And I'm very excited to play with that yarn. It is, it's so soft, so silky, and so gorgeous. It is a little bit different to play with because it is so soft and
Mhm.
sleek. So it's, I mean, you touch it and you're like, wow, but it is different. So I'd love everyone to have an ability to just feel what bamboo yarn feels like.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm going to be putting out some project tutorials using his yarn. I'm going to try to start a new kit box. I did kit boxes a while ago, and I'm going to bring back kit boxes. Hi, Bella. My dog decided she wanted to join.
Aw.
I'm going to bring back kit boxes with his yarn to lift him up and really kind of, I really want to help him out in everything that he's doing. I mean, I'm a
That's
spokesperson for a
exciting.
reason, right? So
Right.
I'm now a spokesperson for them. So I'll be doing a lot of stuff with them. I feel like there's just so much. I am still doing a lot of campaigns with charities. So I'm actually talking with Warm Up America right now about putting something together in October. So anyone that's excited about doing any charity work or lifting up any nonprofit organizations, I am about to launch a new campaign in October. We are just in talks right now about what they are in dire need of. And that's what's really cool is you make
Amazing.
things knowing that somebody needs them.
Yeah.
It's not like you're wasting your time, you're wasting your
Right.
resources. You're making it because somebody will get benefit out of it.
Yeah.
And so got that coming out. And then this one is one that I'm almost like, do I share? Do I not? Do I share? Do I not? There is a woman that lives close to me in my area, and she came out with a knitting book with patterns a couple years
Mhm.
ago. And she also is connected with Fiber Lady, the same yarn shop that I am now a spokesperson for, and that's kind of how we met, was through him. And
Mhm.
she wants to make a new book, but she wants to collaborate it with a crocheter. And so she asked me if I would be interested in collabing on her new book to add some crochet patterns into it. So we
That's
literally just
exciting.
started talking about this, but I'm super excited about potentially, it's not going to be my book, but I'm going to be collaborating with somebody in releasing a
Yeah.
book.
That's
So
exciting.
there's just a lot.
So
There's so much
exciting.
going on. So it makes it so exciting. Like I mentioned, there's so much
Yeah.
I want to do, and it's going to take me like 40 years to do it. So I'm not
No.
going anywhere. I'm going to be on YouTube ever. I swear. It's just, I love it. It's my passion, and I get so much out of it. And knowing that what I do can spread and make this world a better place. And that's what I'm really trying to do. It's my purpose. It's my life mission, to take crochet and help people with it, make this world a better place, whether it's just helping one person to get out of their depression or get out of some tough place that they're dealing with in their life right now. Or if it's somebody else who's like, I don't have a life purpose, there's no use for me. I'm like, grab a crochet hook, make some stuff for charity. They need you.
Yeah.
They need you so bad. So like, I swear, the few people that have told me, I don't have anybody to make anything for. I'm like, help this charity right here. And then all of a sudden they're like, I am so busy.
You're so busy doing everything.
Like, you now have a life purpose. It's like, it's awesome. So
that's
making people's lives better. And whether it's them, the crocheter, or it's the person that's receiving the crocheted item.
Yeah. So. I love that. I love that so much. So everybody if you've been watching my channel and you have not subscribed to Tiffany yet, you've got to go over to her channel.
Yes, if you have no idea who I am, if you're meeting me for the first time, you don't even have to subscribe. Just come over and take a peek at my videos. And if you feel like you would like to receive my videos in your feed, then subscribe. I don't want to pressure you, but check me out. See if I'm your vibe. If you like me, I hope you do. and if you do, then please subscribe. And if you are somebody who would love to join my membership program, maybe you want that community. Maybe you want all of the games and the challenges and the crochet alongs, and you want all that involvement. I have a 10-day free trial where you can give it a try for 10 days and decide for yourself. Watch like 2 Zooms with me, join, see if it's something for you before you actually commit, and then decide. $5.99 a month, that's about it.
I love that. I need to use your membership model for my memberships. I'm going to go study your membership.
Whenever you want, girl, whenever you want. I would welcome it. See, there's no competition here.
Awesome.
There's no competition.
Right.
You take it, make this world a better place,
Exactly.
I'll help you.
Yay! That's awesome. It's funny, whenever I first started out, the first year I was in YouTube, I think we started at about the same time.
Really?
I made my first video in July of 2019, and then I didn't make another one for another year.
Gotcha.
And but then I was doing lives through the first fall of 2020, and Samantha Stewart, I don't know if she's still here in the chat.
Yes, I know Samantha Stewart. I don't think she's here. I know she was at the airport. I saw something about her being at the airport. She might be on the airport. I bet she watches the replay. So hi, Samantha.
Awesome. Well, she used to always tell me, have you ever heard of Tiffany HANSEN?
Oh, really?
And I was like,
I love her.
She was like, you got to go watch Tiffany HANSEN. And this was in, I would say, like this time of year in 2020. And that's how I heard about you. So
wow, that's so cool.
We are one big community, and we just keep spreading the love everywhere. And I think that's how we get our community to grow. And that's how we get the love for crochet out there, is just keep building each other up and getting bigger and stronger. I noticed throughout when COVID was going on that a lot of kids were staying home, learning new things. And when they went back to school, there were a lot of crochet clubs that were started. Yeah, like in the high schools, junior highs. And so, I'm just hoping that the new kids growing up,
right,
have a love for it, and it's not like a nerdy thing. And I think it's getting a little less nerdy.
Yes, I do too. I think especially 2 years ago, crochet really exploded. Yeah. And a lot of people are excited to wear it. They're excited to do it. And so there's a craze. I just hope that it doesn't disappear, because it did go from something that only old people do.
Right.
Which is not true.
It's not true.
By any means. But it went from that stigma to now everybody does it, and there's so many different artistic ways you can take it, and there's so much you can do with it. And again, what I was saying is the mental health aspect that crochet has these younger kids, they need it just as much as us older people need it. You know, they need purpose. They need to not feel depressed, or they need to have some kind of something to distract them from their own craziness happening in their own brains and their own lives, you know.
Right.
And, oh my goodness. So it's just great for everybody. Again, yay, crochet.
I 1,000% agree. And you know what? At that point, I think it's a good time to just to stop. We've been going for 2 hours.
I know. We're an hour over, and honestly, we could probably go for a whole other hour because of all your questions and everything we've been talking about. Again, we have so much fun. Don't wait a whole other year to get in touch with me. We got to get back on here.
Okay, yeah, we've got to do it. Yeah, we'll make it we'll make it a lot sooner because we got a lot to talk about, and we need to talk about YouTube some more too because did
we talk much about YouTube?
We didn't. But you know what? We should do a special live, me and you together, for people that are just crocheters that are starting YouTube channels, because I know there are a lot of smaller YouTube channels in here that just have questions about getting started.
Yes. And honestly, there's so much to say too. It's never too late. The platform is not too flooded.
Nope.
There's room for all of us because we all have our own voice. We all have our own interests. We all have our own way of doing things. And people are quitting all the time.
I know.
People are quitting all the time. You know, you gotta there's things to understand. So I think that would be an awesome video because there are things to like, just kind of be aware of, you know, like, hey, just don't anticipate making $1 million your first year, you know, like, or even like the chats or the comment section, you know, and how to handle certain situations and what is your angle going to be on your channel? Are you going to vlog or are you going to do tutorials or like, what's your angle? You know, oh my gosh, there's so much. So yes, please. Help them. Yes, because it's never too late. And there's so much that people could do. And yeah, everyone's personality is different. Like, I love this quote. I keep this in the backdrop of my videos, and I don't know if anyone ever noticed, but now only the people watching this video are getting this tip. So you're welcome. But
there's when the world needs you to show up. I love that.
Yep. Because I could make a video and you could make the exact same video and it will be so different. It'll be so different. And somebody might not like my style. There's been multiple people that told me they don't like my style. And I'm like, that's fine. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like me, you know? And I mean, somebody else did it too. So, you know, if you enjoy another person's tutorial style, power to you. You found your person, you know? You don't have to like me, you know, but
that's
you don't have to be rude about it either. You know, you can just be understanding. Like there's lots of people on the platform. You know, maybe you or maybe somebody who hasn't even started a channel yet will do the exact same thing that all of us on the platform has already done, but you did it a way that clicked with somebody that they didn't get it to click with anybody else, you know? So yeah, we need you.
I love that. That's so perfect. So that's to all you guys in the chat. This is for you.
Yep, that's all for you. That's all for you. All right, yes, Ginger, don't be a stranger. We got to get together again because this is too fun.
Without a doubt, this has been amazing, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for asking.
I love it. Yeah, I will not wait another year.
Right. Oh yes, thank you so much, guys. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe to both me and to Ginger at Yarn Geek, and you know, share this video with people you think might get a lot of value out of what we talked about. We just had a blast for 2 hours that went like that. And I think we went over some awesome stuff. I think a lot of people get some great value out of. So
without a doubt. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right. I'll let you go. So have a great day, guys.
Bye.